you do not want to take these early fights because you're heavily hindering your opportunity to get a top 3 or even a chicken dinner at the end of the day.
Yeah, one of those teams that does need to be very much aware of that in their current position is guns, right? They dropped them cheeky. It's where they've called home. It's theirs for the taking, but there's a lot of traffic currently somewhat around them. They have disengaged to that more northern edge, the high ground above Pachinki, which I think is very valuable. They didn't stay within the city for too long, but I still worry about their position. 12-18, a little bit to the southwest of them. Slime 4KT, a little bit to the northwest of them. Then when you look on towards Potato Hill, Unique, Nasser, you got Panda, Nexuria, all around them right now.
Did you see Analyst's Z skin?
No.
That was the weirdest skin I think I've ever seen in a game. Hopefully we'll see it very soon. Don't know if you're familiar with the Baba Baba. It's like a French show actually, but now I'd say it might. Now I say it out loud. No, you do not know that. I'll show you later on. But
Yeah,
it was very familiar to it. It's a really weird skin. But the game itself
from Ireland.
Yeah, it's true. Hey man, I don't know if you got your own Irish show, or maybe a little bit weird. Like shape-shifting monsters, and it became a car. It's kind of weird.
Okay.
Yeah, but unique though, despite the weird car skin, they got themselves in a really strong spot here. They're going to be on Potato Hill. That's going to be in Kirim's secondary location he lives in.
What's my first location?
Ireland. That's hard.
But he's in Potato Hill in Ireland. Outside of Pachinki.
I'm unaware. I do not know. The only time I went to Ireland was to golf. It's pretty good for golf.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
You golf?
I did for some time. I was pretty decent.
Okay. What was your handicap?
Me.
Oh my god! Okay! We move on from that one. It's time 4KT taking a couple of shots toward next area on the headshot hills. It's a tricky area to play around so early in the game. This is only phase 1. It's a good spot, but when you're there too early, you can get backstabbed, right? Depending on how this circle shifts. For the time being, they're looking focused. They push back next area. Good aggression coming out from the African representatives.
Yeah, a little bit of a nice aggression. They did drop this time around, by the way, crates of George Pole. That is, I believe we'll have to check out with Banks Tube, but back in the African PMCO, I believe that was their main drop location where they would play, and because there's the likes of Furbalista drop there, also is Na'Vi, they just don't really see the opportunity to go for. Big circle shift here, 50% of this is going to be almost unoccupied. Of course, Milta being the drop spot of Kanina Power, they don't really have to move too much, but there's a lot of really strong compounds, and I'm thinking the compound right up north of Milta in that little valley area is really valuable, and I do think Kanina Power already on the move to go there, but there's a lot of compounds, so that's not the only team that should be able to get a good spot. World of Wonders, or even potentially Conqueror, could actually go in that position very early.
And more importantly, Kanina Power are the only team within that kind of bunch of Fate 12-18 guns themselves and footballers who are actually kind of safe from that cluster. They're the only team that's on the eastern side. All the other teams nearly have to, in some way, shape or form, run through each other. I'm not saying they're going to clash, but that potential is there across that shift to the east. For the time being, Unique have gotten onto the shelter region without any real trouble. Nasser are getting close to the likes of Guns. Guns are rotating past Potato Hill, and you can see Fate on our screens are sticking to a very passive, slow rotation through Ferry here.
They're going through Sudnovka, actually. Arif is already over, and I think he's going to be there to scout information.
Really?
Maybe create a angle point.
Okay.
I think that's a good play. I think that especially
I disagree.
maybe know that Na'Vi is not chasing them down anymore, especially because of how the drops have been working out last game. So they might be a little bit aware of that, and they're going to go for the wide rotate. Though, if their intention is to go for the Eastern Bridge, Kanina Power are strong at defending that. They typically stay there for a really long time. Even though we know as a fact that Kanina Power already started moving away relatively early, it is a risk. So if the play is to get into Novo, pick up a boat, it's still early game, this phase 1 to phase 2 losers. That could work out. Though what's not working out is this fight for Infinity, as Footballists just completely jump on through, and 2 easy kills already coming to their name. I mean, Footballists got close so many times in Imperium to getting the win. This might be the one.
21 kills Footballists have gotten in the first 3 games of the day, and it doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon. However, the noise they made has attracted the teams up around them. In this case, it's 12-18. They're on top of the hill outside of Pichinki. It's a strong pace for them to hold on to. So a little bit of a typical battle between Compound and High Ground Hill. Both teams are in a solid spot. Just look to trade a couple of shots towards each other. Make sure you're aware. And for now, Footballists sending Levazin to the coastal line is incredibly valuable, because on that coastal line position of the mainland, he's actually able to get information towards a kind of farm region where Rico, Infinity, Conquer and Sudar currently lay. So I really like that awareness from Levazin.
Yeah, it's a really good scouting ground. I really like it. Though I'm thinking Imperium, one day I would like it if with our producers in future events, if we could have like a button where it's Footballist being streamed by Mustache Dave. I think that is necessary, and it would enhance the viewing experience by a significant amount.
Can I try to imitate it?
Do you have a mustache?
I have a mustache and a beard.
True, pop actually. Yeah, give it a shot.
Footballist!
It's actually pretty close. A little bit too much Irish in there. Okay, a little bit too much water into this one. Okay, that's a hard shift and a half. That's going to be going straight on top of the bridge. Great for Fate. Luckily enough, will not get away by Canadian power. Pseudo will not have to move, but there's going to be a big movement of teams from the north and also from the west. Now things are going to get really spicy. That water is going to be horrible to play with.
I said initially I didn't disagree with Fate's rotation, but
now you agree.
It's turning into a big brain move. But here's the thing, Max. They have to deal with all the pressure around them, right? They're going to be target number 1 in terms of position. So are they going to be able to deal with? Okay, why are you wearing sandals or something like that, my friend?
I literally am. I'm literally wearing flip-flops.
Fair enough.
Also because you're a flip-flopper in this lobby. But I agree. It's something that's pretty hard to guess beforehand, unless you pay the purple gods with your PayPal beforehand, which I don't think is possible. We'll know that Ocean Sharma is not working on this event right now. Canadian Power, though, they got themselves access to the ridge line. Fate with the compounds, that could be decent, but you know that it's not a 5-dish result in any kills getting confirmed too easily unless you have a full commitment, so I don't think this is going to go really far away. I love that Axa, you can see on the minimap on your right, went for the gas station position. Though I would like that to have a 2-2 split. I think that will be a lot better. If you do get breached, you have more time to defend it and more leeway against the offending team. So I think that sending an extra player with Axa would be the go-to play for them.
I also think it's too early to go into that position for Canadian Power, because they're at risk of getting backstabbed from a team that choose to go into Milta, such as Unique's current rotation towards that pathline. So I don't agree unless they actually full-on push in on the Fate. Otherwise, they really possibly will lose 1 or 2 players. One thing I've noticed, Max, 12-18, they're going for the same rotation as Fate did across the Western Bridge, as East Y does get a knock onto Kudor. Good start for Fate Esports. They played more on the edge in the first 3 games, whereas this central position is a big test for them to hold their ground, stand their ground, and stop any potential breach coming through.
Not gonna lie, if I'm 12-18 currently rotating through Somnovka Island, I would stay on Somnovka until the circle moves, because you know there's gonna be a lot of action unfolding, and I think that they're gonna start reading the kill feed lighting up normally very soon, and they're like, okay, we don't want to get involved, there's no reason for us to do so, we'll wait. If we're lucky, the circle moves right on top of the bridge, and we might have a little bit of an opportunity to play around it, but he want to try and delay it as much as possible, because that cross was how Canadian Power is currently positioned with also Faye. It's not an easy cross, so you need to try and be very prepared, and you must be ready to commit when you go for it. As Unique, you're going to have a little bit of a clash back and forth with Natas and Sarah. Just going to be, once again, Unique struggling a lot in this lobby, I have the impression.
Yeah, but here's the thing, they initially had a good start to that fight, right? They got the knockdown onto Matic, and they got a little bit too bold for the boots, in my opinion. Tried to confirm it, got counter knocked, got traded instantly. And Navi, their rotation was incredibly wild. They dropped in North George, right, and they went all the way across the north, down into the northeast of this circle through Milta. So good from Navi. They're able to sweep around, play on the edge extremely well. But as the next circle shifts up and moves over to the west, so they even have further to go for making it into the circle.
Yeah, Navi just proving once again they're such a good team when it comes to reading circles and playing path and how to find the path of least resistance to enter in those kind of circles later on. Next Royale taking a 5 versus Destiny, those two up as a 4-man crew. He looked trying to get a little bit of a backstab. He took the shots with the Thompson and will give some information over to the opponents of Destiny. Could have taken a pretty big beating and he's going to get knocked on his knees in submission. The rest of the team's going to fully commit to this engagement. Now Frozen X and also Yekta are going to get pushed upon and Destiny losing nobody in this engaging period. As only Frozen X is going to be left stranded once again. This was the MVP of the Turkish PMPL. Can he see if he can live up to the expectation? And he's currently going for the res onto Nihat. There's some more fights unfolding and man, we got some continuous action happening right now on this map.
Because Kanina Power didn't really get backstabbed from the side, they felt confident pushing in across the way. They got one knock, although Axer knocked in return. That second one came through. Radnor's healing up. The Reef is across the way, and he's in a position where he can't really do anything for his teammates for the time being.
Gonna make a decision here. That looked like a really good nade, a little bit more cooked, and that would have been a banger potential trip kill as one nade. But he's gonna get the res. Yasawi's still on his knees, and that's gonna be the kill confirmed. And another knock once again onto Leif, and Ragnarok is just forced in a corner. He just can't escape from this fight whatsoever. And he's gonna get pushed up and actually moving out. He jumped straight on over to join up with the likes of the Reef. That's a good idea because you do not want to get clustered up by Kanina Power. Unfortunately, they do lose 2 players in the process, but at least they still got 2 players up and ready to go, and they need to survive to behind the standings.
Plus, if you notice, Navi were eliminated by Team Unique. So the PMPL CIS winners do at least show a bit of a sign that they have something to offer in the final day of the EMEA Championship. For their other CIS brethren, Kanina Power, they're looking strong. 12-18, that deep rotation through Military Island, very heavily worked out. They did exactly what you suggested, Max. They waited for the next circle to shift up. Then they went across the bridge because they knew at that point nobody was realistically going to be looking in their direction.
Yeah, and also if the bridge cross was not going to work out for 12-18, they could just straight up send the buggies into the water, then just swing their way down south of Seedle Esports and maybe try and go for the compound breach. That was going to be an opportunity. But yeah, they gave themselves also the vehicles, which is going to make their later stage a lot easier to deal with. Going to send Zakonov forward with a McLaren once again, making me extremely jealous because I did not get it and I will never get it, unfortunately, because my luck is indeed that bad. Circle's about to move, and Panda, we haven't talked too much about Panda. They're in a great rotation, but Reef, he's going to be perfectly cooked. It's going to be Ragnarok once again forced up, and they just surround it so heavily. Kanina Power out for blood here, period.
They are looking good. 4 kills on board for the time being, but Destiny, who pushed in onto Nectaria's compound, took it over, got the squad right on 4 kills themselves, stand up and make EUS proud as the representatives in the EMEA Championship. It's not over yet. They either can't get the revive or they can disengage away as 3 players left. To point out though, with the circle shift on phase 5, centering up quite nicely outside the farm region, Guns, footballers, they're into